Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to our review of the Stanley Parable. Now, this is the first one, the one that came out a long time ago, not the Ultra Deluxe. We're going to be doing Ultra Deluxe in a different video just because they're two basically different beasts. Like, Ultra Deluxe has the main game in it, but because it's like, it has so much new content, unlike DLC Plus, which had like a little bit of extra content that we just grouped it together, but the Ultra Deluxe had so much new content that we're qualifying it as its own game, because it kind of is. So, yeah, just to keep that in mind. So, we're going to start off with the game company / creator, which is Galactic Cafe. And I don't know if they've made anything else other than Stanley Parable, but I do know is that they're really good at making Stanley Parable games. So they're really good at like liminality style things. They're really good at the sort of overall story and style of this. We're gonna go over like what's done well and stuff later, but they're a really good company. I think it's I don't even know if they're a company. I think it's like I want to say there's like 15 people or something that work there, so I don't know. But if I'm going to be on the lookout for anything else they make in the future, so that's how good their company is. I'm just going to be looking out for them as time goes on, because obviously there's going to be stuff that they're going to probably make. Once after Stanley Parable, they're going to be making other stuff, but they're not going to do Stanley Parable 3, so probably not. Yeah, so moving on to what is done well. And I'm going to get more into the story and characters later, but the story and characters were well done, like pretty precisely. They were pretty perfect. I loved all the different endings. I love games with different endings. I love that kind of idea. And this game had, like, the original core game, I want to say had like 8 or 9 endings. There was a lot. I of course love the narrator. The narrator's hilarious. He's sarcastic. He's degrading sometimes. He's hilarious. He trolls you. Like, it's just a lot of it is just the narrators. If the narrator didn't exist, the game would not have been as good. Like
Yeah, no, he was like one of the biggest driving forces with this game.
Yeah, so that was really well done. The music was really well done in this game, which we're gonna get into later. The overall sound design was also really well done. The fact that you don't have to listen to the narrator is also like that whole idea of like, do you listen to the narrator or do you not listen to the narrator? And then depending on the mixture of times you do, you get a different ending for it. That's pretty crazy. The broom closet, my favorite ending.
Did you get the broom closet ending?
So yeah, that's like all the different endings had like really cool stories with them. Like I said, we're gonna get more in depth to the story later, but like that's really well done. And just a lot of pretty much everything was pretty well done. Like I would probably not have changed too much, other than like maybe a couple things. But yeah, so like it's just really well done, and I love the narrator. So yeah. But moving on to what could be improved. And I don't honestly have much. It's not perfect or anything, but I don't have much. The one of the things I would say is that the heaven ending was a little premature. I'm not sure why that was even an ending in the first place. Basically, it's in the old game it was a heaven ending where you didn't kill the baby for 4 hours or whatever. We obviously used the cheat mechanism to cheat our way out of it because we weren't actually doing that. But you kind of just get this like white screen, and then you're told that like
about the art
of like the game or whatever, and then you're taken to heaven, which is Stanley's heaven, but it's just buttons all over the place. And pressing the buttons does nothing, and you're just kind of stuck there. So it's like that was kind of premature, and maybe that was kind of the point. But like the idea of like doing that for like if I had actually done that for 4 hours and that was the thing I got, I would have been a little disappointed.
It's not worth it, no.
But yeah, I don't know if that's the point. Is it was just supposed to land flat on its face? I don't know. But all I know is that like that one seemed a little premature. And once we get to Ultra Deluxe, I guess for copyright reasons, they didn't do Minecraft again. Like, I loved the fact that Minecraft was an Easter egg, as well as Portal, which we need to do that again. But, basically, like, in Ultra Deluxe, they had Rocket League and, Firewatch, which is a Firewatch we've never done on the channel, but we might do later. And the Rocket League we've already done, right? So, like, they changed that in Ultra Deluxe, but I'm glad in the normal one that Minecraft was thing. That was a big surprise to everybody. I loved watching people react to that. Because I think when we did our series, I can't remember if I had played the game before and then Zach and Isabel just tagged along for it, or if I got through some of it but not all of it. I can't remember honestly what this thing was because that was like 2 years ago almost. So when we played that game, but either way. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about what could be improved. I think there could have been more music tracks. Like there was a lot of good ones, but I think there could have been more maybe. I think the fact that Like, maybe just more lines from the narrator. Like, he talked a lot, but, like, I think, you know, more lines. I want more comedic value.
More.
But, I mean, that can be give or take, right? So, yeah, not much. But moving on to any problems or glitches. Similar to, what game? There's a game where I said that the glitches were intentional. Like, any glitch you found was sort of intentional. But similar to that, whatever that game was, this game works in the same way. So there's the ending where you can leave the facility into this white void through glitching into the table. That's intentional. There's a glitch where you can sort of like go into the boss's office and walk out as the doors are closing. That's intentional because that leads to an ending. You have the one where in the camera room you have like where you can wait for the platform to come down, you can wait for the gates to open, start up the party room or whatever. That's intentional. So like almost every glitch in the game was intentional. Now I think maybe when it first came out there might have been a glitch here and there, but when we played the game I didn't encounter any.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they're purely intentional.
There's like DDLC where any glitches that seemed like they were unintentional.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. DLC was yeah. So all the glitches that's in modern day, like maybe like when I said when it first came out, maybe there's stuff wrong with it, but we didn't see that. So moving on to controls. It was literally just WSD and click a button. That was literally it. I mean, I think maybe Shift might have done something. I don't think it did though. I think you could crouch with C or Control, whatever that might have been. And then on Ultra Deluxe, which is on consoles, I think that's literally just A, B, and like walk. So it's very simple controls. You'd learn it pretty much immediately. So moving on to graphics. And the graphics is also kind of what helped the game. The graphics weren't obviously like pristine HD 4K graphics.
It's not like a hyper-realistic model.
But it almost looks cartoony, which is kind of interesting. Not cartoony in the sense of like hand drawn or anything, but cartoony in the sense that it looks really cool and that it looks really polished and well done. That was really cool. And so I think the graphics the graphics did help the game a lot. So you're watching the graphics on screen now, so they look pretty cool too. We're moving on to music/sound. Now, the sound effects in this game are really well done. Where every time you close the door, every time you walked, every time you like did a certain action or whatever, that was really well done. The music in the game was also really cool. I think the music when you're getting blown up by the bomb, I think was one of the best tracks in the game. And then there was Ultra Deluxe destroyed it with the music. Like the music was really good in that one too. But in the core game it was really good as well. And like I said, the music tracks, there's not a lot, but the music tracks that were there. Oh, and you can't forget the bum bum ba-da-dum ba-dum bum or whatever music that was. That music was hilarious and also really fun. Yeah, the music added a lot of fun value because it was in the background and stuff like that. And like I said, the sound effects were really well done. So, but moving on to story and characters. Now, story and characters is where the game really shined, because the story is that you're a man named Stanley, and that you're stuck in your office and you don't get any work, and that you finally decided to venture outside of your office and see what's happening, and you find out that all your coworkers have magically disappeared, and that you have a narrator talking to you the entire time. Now the story can actually go like 8 different ways because there's 8 different endings. So you can follow the narrator and be like, yeah, I want to listen to you, or you can do mix and match and listen to him sometimes but not listen to him other times, or you can just full on just ignore the narrator and be like, screw you, buddy, I'm out of here. The story depends on where you go, but the main canon ending, or like not the canon ending because there's no like game after it, but the main ending seems to be the freedom ending, where you destroy the sort of machine that's keeping you in the building, and then you leave and Stanley goes on to the real world. So that seems to be the main ending, and that ending was really cool. And the music again, which I just talked about, is also really cool in that section as well. So yeah, it's really well done, and yeah. So the story is just it's crazy because, like I said, it goes in all different sort of directions. In terms of the characters, though, you have Stanley, who's mute, which I feel like if he was talking, it would have been worse as a game, because this is one of those games where I feel like having a mute character works best, because you want to perceive yourself as the thing, because you are the player, and the narrator directly calls out the player on certain occasions, so he breaks the fourth wall. And if Stanley were to talk, it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm glad they used mute. And the narrator, best character in the game, I think. He's hilarious, like I mentioned earlier. He's really funny. He makes commentary at the player, like I just said. He calls you stupid and ugly or whatever in the room closet. He added like so much comedy to the game that if he wasn't there or if he was even replaced by someone else, it would not have been as good as the game. So I'm really glad that he was there. There's some side characters, like there's the wife that's really just a mannequin. In the H Ultra Deluxe or whatever, there's the bucket, which is a character, but we'll get to that in a different video. But in the core game, there's just really that. I think that's really it. It's really because it's super liminal. There's nobody else. So I think there's an Easter egg where you can see someone walking, but you don't get any sort of closure on who they are. The boss is like a Figment character, so like he's told that you're told that he exists, but he's not really existing. Stanley and the narrator are really the only two characters, which shows how good the game is, because if there's only two characters in the game and they both shine, then yeah, that makes it for like a really good experience. So moving on to replayability. This is a liminal game, so once you get all the endings, it's kind of over. I mean, there's still some secrets you can get, like there's still some achievements you can get, but after that, it's kind of over. So I'm going to categorize this in the middle section, because once you go on your first playthrough, there's going to be still more after that. Limited is like you're on your first playthrough. Once you're done with that first playthrough, it's over. But the middle section, where like after your first playthrough, there's still more to do. In this case, there's still more to do, but unlike Minecraft, it's not unlimited. You can play the game until it explodes, right? And get new content. So, but moving on to personal takes. So the original game was one of those games that kind of pioneered gaming back when it came out. Sort of like DLC and Undertale, where it's kind of, when you think of like really good indie games, you think of Undertale, you think of Doki Doki Literature Club, you think of like other stuff, and then you think of Stanley Parable, like the original, because it was such a pioneer for its time that a lot of people did it. Like everyone on YouTube did it. That's how good the game was. So like I think it's a really good game. It's held up all these years, and with Ultra Deluxe that came out, they clearly showed that it can still hold water even to this day. And I think that's the sign of a good game, when it's good even to this day. So yeah, that's really well done, and I had a lot of fun playing it, because obviously there's so many different endings. I love games with different endings. The narrator's hilarious, so anytime he talked, he provided comedic value. All the different endings were very different and very like engaging. So you had like endings where you stop the machine. There's endings where you would go into a secret basement and get lost and have to use the adventure line. There's an ending where you have to break the game intentionally to get to an escape pod. It's like all these different endings are super well done, and I had a lot of fun with it. But Zach, what's your personal take?
Yeah, I definitely think this game was like a pioneer for more games. It was definitely like a really pivotal game for gaming, and like you said, like everyone was playing this game back when it came out. It was like one of those games, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I do like the fact that not every ending is sort of the same, where it's like, oh well, I mean, it's just this, but with this and that. No, like you can go from like going out into like a good view and Stanley just controlling himself, and to like just straight up dying. I think at one point. No, it was that, and then like a new narrator shows up. All like there's quite a variety with the endings, and I really do like that a lot.
All right, Isabel.
Yeah, when we did this on the channel, I was not expecting all of the endings to turn out how they did. I definitely did enjoy the narrator and how hilarious and sarcastic he was. And I really enjoy how creative they got with the endings and the Easter eggs that they did, and I appreciate how much time they did put in with this game.
All right, moving on to, is it worth it? So the core Stanley game, because Ultra Deluxe I think costed a little bit more, but the core Stanley game cost $15. And in my personal opinion, I think based on the comedic value you get and all the different endings, I want to say you get about 4 hours of playtime with that. And you can even go further because we kind of in our series because I think that's what happened. I think I did play the game before and like I was just introducing it to these guys and that's why we did it on the channel. Meaning I think I kind of speedran the game and knew what to do. So if you don't know what to do and you want to get all the, because also I didn't get every achievement. There's achievements you can get that require you to do certain things. So I think you have about like 4 to 6 hours of playtime is probably what I'd say. And $15 sounds steep for that type of experience, but with how good the game is and how comedic value you might get out of it and how much enjoyment you might get out of it, I'm going to say, to me, it would be worth it. I would pay the $15 again to relive the experience sort of thing. So in my personal opinion, it is. But that leaves us with the final rating. And my final rating is, I think Ultra Deluxe has to be one tier better just based on the fact that it's the core game and extra content. Meaning I'm going to leave the main game as a 7 because I think personally Ultra Deluxe should be an 8 because it's the core game plus extra content, which extra content was better, obviously. So when we eventually do that, I'm probably going to bump it up to an 8. So I think I'm going to leave it at a cool 7. Like, I mean, remember, this I think like 8s or 9s are like revolutionary games, right? This was revolutionary, but I want to save the 8 for Ultra Deluxe because obviously I don't want to rank them both at the same thing because that doesn't make sense. Because Ultra Deluxe has better, like more content than the other one does. So, and it has console support as well. So like it doesn't make sense to group them together, and also it wouldn't make sense to rate Ultra Deluxe lower than the core game because the core game's in Ultra Deluxe. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at a cool 7. But Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, I do think Ultra Deluxe is better just with how much more crap you get out of that, and with the new stuff actually being good, and it's just the base game added onto that, it'd be better. So I was thinking an 8 at first, but now I'm thinking about that. That would mean Ultra Deluxe is a 9, and I'm sorry, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's a 9 because things we rated a 9. I would say it's not as revolutionary as things we rated as a 9.
Yeah, like we rated Deltarune, DDLC as 9s. It's definitely not in Minecraft. I don't think those are not.
I wouldn't put it up
to those.
Even though Minecraft was featured in it, I wouldn't compare it the same.
Yeah, so I think the core game in that case, it's a really good 7 in my opinion. Like really good.
All right, Izzo?
Yeah, I also agree that the Ultra Deluxe would be a higher tier than the core game, but I do think the core game does deserve a 7, but like a kind of like a high 7 is what I would say.
All right. So yeah, that's gonna do it for our review. So hopefully this review helped you in some way. But as you know, as with the reviews, we do a custom outro, so it's not gonna be the same as you see on the other videos on the channel. So yeah, that's gonna do it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.